Hey, ready to time trav? In this video, you'll step into the shoes of someone living through a full day in the middle of the COVID-19 pie. You'll wake up confused, panic over a single cough, talk to a cactus, fall asleep mid-yoga, and maybe, just maybe, feel like someone understands what you went through. It's dark, it's weird, it's funny in a should I be laughing again kind of way. So before you doze off, hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment. What time is it right now where you are? And where are you watching from? Let's see how many of us night owls are reliving the madness together. Now breathe in, breathe out, and let's go back to a time when washing groceries felt heroic and seeing a maskless jogger felt like a horror film. You wake up to the muffled beeping of your alarm clock, or maybe it's the smoke detector, or your neighbor screaming at Alexa. Time has lost all meaning, and your blackout curtains have declared war on sunlight. You check your phone. 11:47 a.m. You blink. Could be morning. Could be the next day. You squint at the calendar. Monday. Wait, wasn't yesterday also Monday? Or last month? You're not sure anymore. Weekdays are just theoretical. Voiceover, internal monologue. If today's Monday, then yesterday was Sunday, or the fall of Rome. You lie there, staring at the ceiling, debating whether to get up or just marinate in your own existential dread for a few more hours. The ceiling fan spins like it knows something you don't. Your stomach growls, a sign of life. You consider this a medical miracle. You sit up, stretch, and immediately regret it. Your body makes sounds like someone stepping on old bubble wrap. You have aged 20 years in quarantine and gained the flexibility of a haunted rocking chair. You reach for your phone again, instinctively open Instagram, and are instantly greeted by a friend's post. Rise and grind, everyone. New day, new hustle. You hate him, not because he's thriving, but because he's showered before noon. Show off. You shuffle toward the kitchen, still unsure if this is breakfast or lunch, or a second dinner disguised as brunch. The world outside is quiet. Too quiet. Pandemic quiet. You wonder briefly if you're still dreaming. Then you stub your toe on the doorframe. Nope. Very awake. Very real. Very 2000s 20s. You shuffle into the kitchen like a half-dead Roomba. Out of habit or instinct, you put on a mask before making coffee. There's no one else in the apartment. You live alone. But hey, you never know. The virus might be airborne, sentient, and personally offended by your lack of morning hygiene. You fire up the coffee machine. It sputters like it's judging you. You squirt hand sanitizer on the handle because why not? It's 2020-something, and you're nothing if not consistently anxious. While the coffee gurgles like a dying robot, you turn on the TV. And in today's update, over 3,000 more deaths reported. Experts say masks are effective, but a Facebook post from someone's uncle disagrees. Breaking. Bill Gates is microchipping our pets through kibble. You sip your coffee through your mask. It doesn't work, of course. Hot liquid spills onto your shirt. You stare at the stain like it's a metaphor for everything. You open the window for fresh air and possibly divine intervention. Outside, your neighbor, Gary, you think his name is, stands in his yard wearing a hazmat suit made from garbage bags and duct tape. He's burning toilet paper in a grill like he's making an offering to the gods of Charmin. You blink. He nods at you solemnly. You nod back. No words exchanged. No judgment. Just mutual recognition. Two survivors of a slowly unraveling society, bonded by fear confusion, and a shared appreciation for two-ply. You close the window and return to your coffee. You no longer care that it's lukewarm and vaguely tastes like despair. You survived another morning. Probably. You collapse onto the couch with your half-sipped, fully cold coffee in hand. The TV still murmurs in the background, throwing out numbers like it's running a death lottery. You grab your phone. Time for your morning tradition. Doom scrolling. You open Facebook. Mistake number 1. Your feed is a digital battlefield. Your high school friend, now a self-declared epidemiologist, just posted, "Masks are mind control. Wake up, sheeple." 2 comments down, your ex-coworker is calling for martial law and selling homemade hand sanitizer scented like Axe body spray. You scroll further. Your yoga instructor is live streaming from Costa Rica because vibrations kill viruses. Someone's dog has a Twitter account and is somehow more informed than half your extended family. Your brain hurts. You switch to Instagram. Everyone seems to be thriving. Banana bread, home workouts, couples doing couples things. You stare at a photo of someone's quarantine abs and take another bite of leftover pizza you found under a napkin. Breakfast? Lunch? Doesn't matter. Calories aren't real anymore. Then, your phone buzzes. It's your mom. 10 unread messages, all caps. Don't get the vaccine. It's a trap. They're using 5G to control weather. I read it on a blog called Truth, Real Wake Up, You Say Info. Call me now, or I'll assume you're dead. Have you been drinking lemon water? You laugh. A dry, cracked laugh that sounds like it escaped from a haunted attic. Then you stop and realize you're not really laughing. Not on the inside. You toss your phone face down on the couch, like it betrayed you personally. You stare at the ceiling again, your eyes glazed, your mind somewhere between existential crisis and mild indigestion. You ask yourself the big questions. Are we ever going back to normal? Was normal even that great? What if I joined a cult? Just a small, friendly one with snacks. Your stomach gurgles. You decide that's a sign. Not sure of what, but it's something. You check the time. Still morning. Somehow, you haven't cooked in weeks, or maybe months. Time's a blur, and so is your memory of how a stove works. So today, like every day, you place a food delivery order. Thai curry. Extra spicy. Because your taste buds gave up back in June, and you need to feel something. You leave a note for the driver. Leave the bag on the welcome mat, knock once, then back away like we're doing a hostage handoff. You watch through the peephole like you're in a spy thriller. The driver approaches, drops the bag, knocks, retreats 5 steps, turns back for a second. You freeze. Is he breathing too hard? Is that a cough or just wind? You count to 10. Open the door like it's a trap. Snatch the bag like you're defusing a bomb. Into the kitchen you go. Game time. Operation. Decontamination. Step 1. Place food on quarantine tray. Step 2. Toss the outer bag like it's radioactive. Step 3. Sanitize your hands. Then the counter. Then your hands again, just in case your hands betrayed you mid-swipe. Step 4. Wipe the containers down like they owe you money. Step 5. Realize the curry is in a styrofoam box that's already half melted, except that you may now be ingesting plastic along with your lunch. That's fine. You're mostly microplastics by now anyway. You sit down, open the container, and inhale the spicy aroma like it's the first real smell of the week that isn't anxiety or bleach. You eat in silence. No background music. No conversation. Just the hum of your fridge and the occasional existential groan from your spine. You briefly consider FaceTiming someone. but that would mean showering and being perceived. No thanks. You chew, alone, safely, sanitized, just you, your lunch, and the constant looming presence of absolutely nothing happening outside. Your laptop is perched on a stack of books because you read somewhere that angles matter. You're framed from the shoulders up. Professional, crisp, awake, below the waist. You're wearing boxers with pizza slices on them and one slipper. The other slipper is somewhere. You log into Zoom. 12:59 p.m. Meeting starts at 1 p.m. You're technically early, which is the most you've achieved this week. The screen fills with familiar faces. Bob from accounting, who always looks like he's 2 seconds from giving up. Tina, who hasn't blinked since March. And Mark, oh Mark, proudly rocking a tie, a blazer, and the unmistakable crinkle of gym shorts. You mute yourself immediately. A survival instinct. Can everyone hear me? You're on mute. You're still on mute. Now we can hear your dog. You fake a smile so hard your cheek twitches. Someone's kid runs behind them holding a plunger. Someone else has a cat's butt squarely in frame. No one reacts. This is normal now. The manager starts talking. Words like pivot, synergy, and Q3 deliverables float through the air like meaningless corporate incense. You zone out. You click over to another tab, scroll a bit, consider Googling, can you overdose on multivitamins? But think better of it. Then, it happens. You mutter under your breath, half aware, half fed up. This whole team is useless. Except, you're not muted. You see it before you hear it. The telltale glow of the little microphone icon. The moment freezes. Everyone stares. For a full, crushing second, you consider closing the laptop and faking your own death. Then someone laughs. Another joins in. The manager chuckles. Ha ha ha. That's the spirit. Love the honesty. Really keeps us grounded. You force a laugh so forced it could be considered a hostage signal. Oh yeah. Just kidding, guys. Total joke. You know me. Classic sarcasm. You raise your coffee mug, shaking slightly. Cheers to synergy, huh? They move on. But you know what you said. They know what you said. You click mute with the reverence of someone disarming a bomb. The rest of the meeting passes in a blur of slides, stats, and half-baked optimism. You nod at appropriate intervals. Smile when your name is mentioned. Pretend to take notes by randomly typing the word potato over and over. Finally. The meeting ends. You close your laptop, stare into space, and whisper, I hate them all. You lie flat on the couch, limbs sprawled like a starfish that gave up on life. The remnants of your lunch sit on the coffee table, a half-empty container of curry and a plastic fork that snapped under emotional pressure. You stare at the ceiling, not in thought, in resignation. The fan spins lazily above you, whispering, You are wasting your life. You are wasting your life. Your eyes drift to the corner closet. That's where you keep the stash. A fortress of toilet paper, 27 rolls, down from 32. You do the math. If you average 2 squares per... Wait, you don't have the mental bandwidth for math. You just know. Once it hits single digits, it's over. You sigh. Not a regular sigh. A deep pandemic sigh. The kind that echoes through your soul and bounces off every canceled vacation, unpaid parking ticket, and Zoom call trauma. You whisper to no one, If the world ends, at least I'll be clean. Then the intrusive thoughts arrive. Your brain, generous as ever, drops one in your lap. If a zombie apocalypse happened right now, would you survive? You don't even hesitate. Nope, I'd be the first to go. Not because I'm weak, but because I'd rather lie down and let it happen than run a mile. You turn your head and look at your shoes. They're by the door, dusty, untouched. Even your shoes have quarantine depression. You close your eyes and tell yourself you'll get up in 5 minutes. You don't. You decide it's time. Time to take care of your body. You unroll your yoga mat, the one you bought in week 2 of quarantine, when you still believed this would last 3 weeks tops. It creaks from neglect. Dust puffs up like the ghosts of failed resolutions. You open YouTube. The thumbnail shows a glowing woman named Sierra doing the splits in front of a sunlit mountain range. She looks like she's never known anxiety or carbs. You hit play. Hi friends, welcome back to Stillness Through Strength. Today we're doing a gentle afternoon flow to realign your breath, your body, and your spirit. You're already out of breath from bending. To adjust the laptop angle. She begins, start in downward dog, and just breathe. You try. You immediately get a noseful of your own carpet. It smells like forgotten cheese and crushed dreams. Now, move into cat-cow pose. Arch and round, arch and round. You do it, kind of. Your back makes a sound that suggests it's holding a grudge. Now gently lower into child's pose. Ah, yes, the one that just looks like you've given up. This is your natural state. Let your forehead rest on the mat and surrender all tension. You do, a little too well. You blink once, twice, and suddenly you're out, not dead, just napping, mid-yoga, mid-video. You wake up 20 minutes later in what can only be described as a new pose, collapsed deserted house cat. Somewhere between Shavasana and emotional collapse, the video has auto-played into a 10-hour meditation track called Sounds of Inner Peace. Ironically, you're now sweating and angry. You sit up slowly, like a middle-aged sea lion. The mat is wrinkled, your back is sore, your soul feels exactly the same. You close the laptop. Sierra's frozen smile mocks you from the screen. You mutter, "Namaste, I guess," and roll the mat back up. Not tightly, not neatly. Just defeated. That was your workout. You survived? Barely. After days trapped in your apartment with only your dying plant and a passive-aggressive fridge for company, you decide you need fresh air. You suit up like you're entering a war zone. Mask? Check. Hand sanitizer? Check. Sunglasses? Hoodie? Latex gloves? Check, check, check. You look like a discount assassin or a germophobic raccoon. You step outside. The air hits different. Partly because it's fresh, partly because you're breathing through 3 layers of fabric and mild anxiety. You walk cautiously. Every sound feels suspicious. Every squirrel is a potential biohazard. Even the trees feel judgmental. Half a block in, you're starting to relax. The sun is kind. The breeze is gentle. The world isn't ending. Well, it is, but at least it's ending with good weather. Then, you see him, a jogger, coming straight towards you. No mask, no shame. He's shirtless, glowing with sweat, breathing like a pug in a sauna. You freeze. Your inner monologue becomes a survival siren. He's aerosolizing, he's aerosolizing. You pivot 180 degrees so fast, you might have dislocated a hip. You don't run. Running would attract attention. You glide silently, efficiently, like a ninja whose mission is not dying via stray droplet. You duck behind a parked SUV and peek over the trunk. The jogger passes, oblivious. You wait 5 extra seconds, just in case he doubles back like a virus-shedding boomerang. Then, like a raccoon retreating from a spotlight, you skitter back toward your front door, key trembling in hand. You sanitize the doorknob, then your hands, then your soul. Inside again. You exhale. You lasted 7 minutes. New personal record. You sit down, take off your mask, and whisper, "Nature is canceled." You sit by the window, staring out at nothing. Not metaphorically, literally nothing. Just a squirrel digging in the dirt like it owes him money, and Gary the neighbor burning incense to ward off 5G again. You turn away. Your eyes land on Spike, the cactus on your windowsill. Small, round, aggressively unbothered. You bought him during week 4 of the lockdown, hoping to bring life into your space. He's somehow still alive, despite everything. Unlike your sourdough starter, which committed carb suicide in June, you look at Spike. He looks at you. You squint. Maybe it's the lighting. Maybe it's the loneliness. Or maybe it's the leftover curry fumes messing with your brain, but Spike seems judgmental. You raise an eyebrow. Well, excuse me for not thriving. Okay? Not all of us are desert-born warriors. Silence. You continue anyway. This whole thing is ridiculous. I talk to delivery drivers through the door like I'm a hostage. I haven't worn jeans in 5 months. And I think I might be scared of squirrels now. Spike remains still, stoic, unmoved. You know what I miss, Spike? Crowds, bad breath, traffic, even people I used to hate. Like that guy at work who chews like a cement mixer. I'd pay to hear him chew again. You lean in closer. I'm unraveling, buddy, slowly, elegantly, but unraveling nonetheless. Then chistosam, just for a split second. You swear. Spike leans, ever so slightly. You freeze. Did you just nod? A pause. Of course not. That would be crazy. But still, you feel oddly comforted, seen, heard, like Spike, in his prickly, silent way, gets it. You laugh to yourself. A small, sad laugh. The kind you make when you realize the only one listening is a succulent. Still, it helps. You whisper, "Thanks, man." Spike says nothing, but in the quiet, his silence feels supportive. The room is quiet, save for the occasional hum of your fridge and the distant, all too familiar wail of a siren slicing through the night. You're sitting at your desk with a notebook open, a real one, paper, pen. You figured if the internet dies, your thoughts might as well survive on something analog. You write slowly, deliberately. Day 157. Today I learned how to fold a surgical mask into a swan. Is this art? Or madness? Unclear? You look at the swan. It stares back, judgmental, slightly crumpled, but graceful in its own disposable way. You set the mask swan beside your other creations. A paperclip man who now serves as head of HR. A toilet paper tube telescope, useless but hopeful. And an old banana that's turned fully black. You've named him Greg. You exhale through your nose, too tired to laugh, too awake to sleep. The sirens outside grow louder, then fade. You rest your head against the back of your chair, eyes to the ceiling. A soft whisper in your head asks, what if this is normal now? What if we never go back? What if this is it? You reply, aloud this time, just to hear a voice in the room. Then I better keep folding? Another pause. Then, almost involuntarily, you chuckle. A strange, dry laugh that echoes slightly in the quiet. You pick up the mask swan again. You're not even symmetrical, dude. But at least it's something. Something you made. Something that didn't come from a news alert or a panicked email thread titled Urgent, Zoom link broken. You close the notebook, lean back, stare into the darkness. For a moment, despite everything. The silence feels peaceful, and you almost forget the world is falling apart outside. Almost. You lie in bed, curled like a question mark with no answer. The room is dark, but your phone is bright. Way too bright. You squint because your eyes are tired, but your brain refuses to sleep. You open TikTok. Bad idea. But it's 11:47 p.m. And bad idea is basically your lifestyle now. You scroll. One video, then 5, then 30. A girl making coffee with oat milk and generational trauma. A guy pretending to be a microwave. A dog with more followers than you'll ever have. Then you see it. You. A video you forgot you even posted. Quarantine, week 19. You're dancing in your living room, mask on, pajama pants, doing the blinding lights challenge like you had any business moving that way. You're smiling. Genuinely, or pretending convincingly, both equally sad in hindsight. You watch it again and again. Then you start to laugh. But halfway through, it turns, the laugh cracks, wobbles, and then tears. Quiet. Just a few, not dramatic, just the body, leaking emotion like a worn-out faucet. Still watching your own face on a loop. Still smiling. Still dancing. Who is that? Was that me? Is that still me? You whisper it, like the room might answer. Does anyone even know who they are anymore? The video ends. An auto loops. And ends again. You hit pause. Let the silence return. Then you whisper one more thing to yourself, like it's a confession. I miss me. You're lying in bed, finally still. The phone is face down. The room is quiet. Then, you cough, just one. Dry, sharp, cuts through the silence like a gunshot in a meditation retreat. You freeze. The room goes still. Your brain hits DEFCON 1. Was that it? Did I get it? Was it the jogger? The curry guy? Spike? You sit up slowly, pulse rising. You swallow. Scratchy. Another cough. Oh no. You stumble out of bed like a panicked crab and dig through the COVID drawer. A messy shrine of masks, expired hand sanitizer, and 3 different types of at-home tests. You fumble open the rapid test like it's a bomb defusal kit. Swab. Swirl. Wait. 15 minutes. The longest 15 minutes of your life. You pace. You Google early signs of COVID. Can COVID live in blankets? How to write a will at 2 a.m. The test finishes developing. 1 line. Negative. You blink. You think. Then you remember. You chugged a glass of water straight from the fridge 20 minutes ago. Just to feel alive. You cough again. It's colder than you remember. You laugh, a real one this time, not happy, but relieved. The laugh of someone who just survived the world's shortest existential crisis. You fall back into bed, exhausted, safe-ish. You whisper to no one. Next time. Room temperature. The test is negative. Your breath is steady. Your body, though twitchy with residual paranoia, is sinking into the mattress, like it finally gave up fighting gravity. You turn your head toward the window. Outside, silence. Then call a flicker. The light in the house across the street turns on. You've never spoken to them, never even caught their name. But every few nights, around this hour, the light comes on. Sometimes you see them pacing. Sometimes they're just sitting. Tonight, they're holding a cup. Maybe tea. Maybe just something warm to pretend this isn't all insane. You raise your hand, just a little. They don't see you. That's okay. You tell yourself, they're still here. I'm still here. That's something. You glance around your room. Clothes on the floor. Dust on the bookshelf. A sock doing something unspeakable behind the lamp. You think, Tomorrow, I'll clean. You pause. Or not. Maybe you will. Maybe you won't. Maybe the cactus will get a name upgrade. Maybe you'll try yoga again and not nap in child's pose. Who knows? The world is broken, weird, and maybe permanently off-center. But you're still here, still thinking, still whispering jokes into the dark. And somehow that feels enough. For now, you close your eyes. The sirens have stopped.